Right on. Look at that blank screen. Wonder what we're going to be talking about. Got my beautiful title here. Let's turn off this rock music. Whoop. Let's get me out of the way. Oh. All right. So today we're going to talk in detail about. I'm not joking about this. $30,000 an hour strategy. Now, obviously, you can't do that day in day out. That's what I'd be doing. Um, but in point of fact, I actually need the residential agents or the residential oriented agents to help me so they can earn that. And I and the other commercial brokers can actually do 90% of the work for you. So um, if this is your first time, a lot of times we do what's called office hours. We do different training on different topics. If you have any type of questions on any commercial topic whatsoever, let me know and we'll cover it. Today, our topic is, if I can go over there, we go. You can see there we go. How to earn the equivalent of $30,000 per hour by helping your current sphere of influence get exactly what they need in 15 minutes or less without learning anything new and doing it for the most part by doing exactly what you're already doing. So give me a sec. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee here, and then we'll dive into this. And I'll, if you can see down there, you can go to straighttalkacademy.com. You can sign up. We've got tons of training for commercial real estate brokers or people new to commercial real estate, rather, as well as this whole strategy as well. You can sign up for that down there and get all of that. I got my cup of coffee. All right. So if just make sure we're live over here. We are live. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So if you have any questions between now, and if you're watching this after the fact, pop them in the comments. We'll answer them. But we're going to go over how this works. And this is something I taught when I was in Keller Williams, KW Commercial. We ran the commercial division back a couple years ago. Back before all the Zoom calls, we would have these things called live meetings where we would teach this to a lot of the residential agents and show them, look, you have a literal gold mine sitting in your phone that you're not really utilizing, and it's not going to take you any extra time to take advantage of it. So just a quick point before we get there. As a broker, whether you're learning commercial or if you're in residential and maybe you're curious about commercial, or if you're just a residential agent doing your own thing, you have 100% of your time in and about your own business, right? So if you're residential, you're listing and selling property, you're showing houses, you're doing open houses, what have you, and promoting your listings and getting them sold, doing escrows. You've got a lot that you're already working on, and to increase the amount of money that you're making, what do you do if you're already spending all of your time doing money-making activities? Well, you can add another revenue stream to what you're currently doing, right? So you open up another spigot there. You could duplicate yourself. Things in the world, we talk about AI all the time right now. You could do something like that, where you've duplicated a lot of your activity that you do and automate it so that there's basically a robot doing it for you. That's a way to free up time so you can do more different money-making activities. Or you can scale what you're already doing, or you could do a lot of these in conjunction with each other. You could have, kind of combine all three of these things. And what I'm going to talk to you about is a very simple and easy way to really do that. If you've been in residential or if you're around residential agents, this is a great method for them to make money and for you to make money. Whether you're in the commercial or if you're just in residential, it's a great way to make this happen. So let's talk about how that works. First, we're going to talk about sphere of influence. Then I'm going to talk about how to take that sphere of influence and uncover really the commercial real estate and the real estate opportunity that's in there. And I'm going to show you how to have a commercial broker do 90% of the effort for you. All you have to do is do the handoff. And these are handoffs from your clientele who are already doing commercial, right? So you've got your sphere of influence. And then part of that, and then obviously outside of that, people you haven't met, people have residential needs, right? So you're currently talking to your sphere of influence. You're currently promoting yourself to them. You're currently trying to get more listings. Some of the people need help right now with real estate. Some of them don't, but you have your own sphere. Now, outside of that sphere are these residential agent or the residential owners who need help, right? So you're trying to broaden that sphere over to the right here, right? We're trying to broaden this way so we can get more listings. And that's what you and thousands of other agents are doing, a lot of residential agents out there. Now, my question is this, and you may or may not be aware of this. In your sphere of influence, there's also people with commercial needs. There's a big part of your sphere of influence that has a commercial need. This isn't just necessarily buying investment property. This could be business owners. These could be decision makers within a business that know that they need more warehouse space, that know they need to have a new location. And likely, oftentimes, an agent is unfamiliar with commercial, so they just don't really pay attention to that. When something comes up in conversation that could be like a light bulb moment, oftentimes we're just not paying attention to that. And so we're going to refocus ourselves a little bit today. And we're also going to consider this. These also overlap. So the commercial real estate people who have commercial real estate needs also overlap. Oh, you can't see that. Also overlap with people with residential needs, right? And in that sphere, in your sphere, people who have both commercial needs and also need to sell their house. And we'll talk about an example of that. It's likely that you or someone that has had this situation happen. So we're going to talk about how to take advantage of this sphere. Okay? So let's not jump too far. Okay. So this has probably happened to you, whether you know it or not. You've sold a person a house. They probably enjoyed how well how hard you worked, how everything went. They probably had a good interaction with you. And they probably, or they could have also had a commercial or apartment need. Now, whether this is you or another agent, when this happens, did you or they know that this person, Dave in this case, had a commercial requirement, had a commercial need? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Okay. If you did know that Dave had a commercial need, did you actually refer that out or not? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Did someone help Dave? Did you help Dave? Did a commercial broker come along and help Dave and you weren't involved at all? A lot of times that's the case, unfortunately. So here's what we do. Okay, let's do this. Let's jump that back up there. So here's what we do. Let's compare the two. Let's compare these two transactions. Whether or not you were involved with Dave's commercial deal or not. Here's what you made on the residential side, right? So I've talked to a residential broker. He says, hey, transaction value might be about 800,000 just on average. Our average commission, if it's 3%, would be about 24,000. And the hours you work, the hours you spend on your own listing, I'm going to assume you've cut it down to 40 total, but it could be as much as 90. You spend 90 hours, rate for that listing is still $266, $600. That's not bad, right? For that amount of effort. Pretty good hourly wage. Now, what about the commercial transaction? Say that Dave also had a commercial need too. Let's say they were buying an apartment building and it was only $1 million. If you were to refer that out, you were to have a commercial broker say, hey, commercial broker Dave needs help. I don't do commercial, I do residential. Can you help Dave out? Cool. Give me a referral fee. That referral fee to you would be $7,500, which is not bad. But the amount of effort that you spent to hand Dave off, Dave already knows you, Dave likes you, Dave had a great transaction with you. You simply handing that off to a commercial broker is worth $7,500. But the amount of hours you worked was maybe it was 15 minutes, maybe it was 30 minutes, but regardless, your hourly rate, somewhere in the range of tens of thousands of dollars per hour. Now, like I said, obviously we can't do this day in, day out, just referring business out. But the point of this is the leverage, right? You can leverage someone else. You're not spending all the time on this listing or this purchase on the commercial side. Someone else is. A commercial broker is. Dave's happy. Dave's getting the help they need. Dave was going to buy an apartment anyway, but now you're involved. Now you get a referral fee because it's not either or of these. You don't have to either do referrals or not. Dave's going to do this anyway. So when you're in the deal doing a residential side, you should be doing the commercial deal too. You should have your ears open for commercial opportunities, whether it's leasing or buying or selling or expanding a business or what have you. So let's talk about how you can do both of these. And instead of just the commission on the house, which is still great, right? Still a great amount, money per hour. You can tack on very easily with very little effort the commercial side of things if we're just asking the right questions and we're paying attention to it in the right way. Okay. Here's some, and just so you know, these are actual examples. I've tried to pull a range so that it is the full spectrum, right? So you see at the top here, vineyard sale, retired attorney introduced us to a vineyard owner. Very great conversation with them. We listed the vineyard. We ended up selling it. The attorney themselves made well in excess of 6 figures on just a 30-minute phone call, right? That person wanted to retire. They didn't say they had to sell. They didn't say anything other than, hey, we'd like to retire here soon. We're getting older. I'm tired of working the vineyard. And the attorney, keeping an ear out for things like that, said, you know what? I have someone to introduce you to. Introduced them to us. And then we sold it. He made over 6 figures just on a referral fee. Now, if you break that down per hour, just to show you the power of just that simple conversation, he made over $200,000 per hour for his efforts. Okay, apartment sale, a little bit different, right? 5-minute handoff. Basically, I think this was either a text handoff or an email handoff where he basically just confirmed I could take the referral. This is an agent that was within my brokerage, knew I did apartments, knew they wanted someone who was part owner of an apartment, wanted to sell it because of some debt issues. So what they ended up doing is introducing me by text or email, and that took them about, I would assume, about 5 minutes. Referral fee to them was $20,000. That's almost $250,000 an hour. 5-minute typing up an email real quick, shooting that off. You got a referral fee for $20,000. Not too shabby. So you can see, like if I'm saying you can make $30,000 an hour, you can make $7,500 on a referral fee. That's on the lower end, right? You could make far in excess of that. Imagine a $10 million deal, which has happened as well. I don't know if that's on this list, but had a warehouse deal. A person owned a medical field business, sold the warehouse, sold the business. Those were 2 transactions. They got a referral fee for both. And that is far in excess of $10 million worth of transactions off of one referral from an agent. Here's another example. You can do a lease as well. Leases earn plenty of money. Okay. But it takes about 5 minutes for them to, I think it was either a text or an email again. And with that lease for the R&D location for the business, they made about $15,000 for a quick handoff. If you break that down per hour, a lot. Mobile home park sale, another great one. So you can see there's a whole range of things that you can do if you're keeping your ears open. So we're going to talk about how to just, you're doing your normal activity as a broker. We're going to talk about how to keep your ears open so that when commercial opportunities do pop up, you can take advantage of that because you're in a unique position. If you're a residential agent or if you're a commercial broker, who's getting in the commercial and know a bunch of residential agents, the residential agents are in a unique position because, like we said, Dave did a transaction with you. Dave likes you. Dave knows you. Dave trusts you. Dave's going to do a commercial deal anyway. You might as well be involved on a warm handoff to a commercial broker. Okay. Mobile home park, like I said, that again was a 20-minute call or so, and he earned in excess of $150,000. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Oh, I don't want that. Shoot here. Let's pause that. Let's get rid of. We don't need that. Do we? There we go. All right. So here's what we're going to do to make this happen for you. You get a sphere of influence we were talking about. Here's what we're the 3 steps. We're just going to do 3 simple steps. Number 1, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write a list of and put people in buckets. Okay, so they're either going to be a business owner bucket, there's an investor bucket, okay, people who just own investment properties, and then there's what I call a decision influencer bucket. Just 3 buckets. And in those buckets are going to be business owners and investors and decision influencers. We'll tell you what those are. And from doing that bucket categorization, you're going to find out what type of properties you should be looking for. Is it industrial? Is it multifamily? Is it self-storage? Is it, agricultural? And then from there, with your list, you're just going to find the right commercial broker. I'll tell you how to do that. And then you're going to implement what I call the 10-4-3 strategy and a golden handoff to basically hand them off to that commercial broker with very little effort on your part and maximum profitability on your part as well. So here's how we do it. Number 1, we're going to sort them into buckets. Bucket 1 is business owner. Bucket 2 is an influencer. Bucket 3 is investor or high net worth individual. Business owner, self-explanatory. Everyone you're selling property to has a commercial need. Most of them do. They need more space for their business. They need another location. They need to lease property. They need to place funds somewhere. So if they're a business owner, that's pretty self-explanatory. If they're an investor, that's explanatory. Decision influencer, they don't have to own a business, right? To know that their company is going to be looking for a new location, to know that their company is running out of storage space in their current warehouse, they need more warehouse space. Now, as a residential agent, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to know how to find them a new space. That means that you need to find a leasing broker that you can then hand them off to, right? So sort them into buckets. I would recommend, make a list of 20 of these, whatever bucket they fall into, make a list of 20, try and make sure you have their number, make sure you have their email and what they own, if anything. And then we'll do part 2 before you talk to them. Do part 2 here, okay? Because part 1 is going to determine what you have and what they need. Okay, they need multifamily, they need warehouse, whatever. Then you're going to go find the broker that you're going to hand them off to. If you don't already have one, you might have one right now in your business, or the handoff might be you. You might be a newer commercial broker who wants to have people hand stuff off to you. This is where you would take the referral and say, look, I will do commercial referrals. We did this all the time when we ran the KW commercial office. Say, look, you have the inventory, you have the deals, you have the clients. Hand the commercial deals off to us. We can answer questions. We can help them with whatever commercial needs they have. But ultimately, if they do any residential, those go back to you. If they do commercial, that's where I come in and you get a referral fee for that. Okay. To find them, you're going to do a couple things. You're going to go on Crexi and LoopNet. You can create a free account if you're not going to receive these. And then go on there and find the product type that you have on your list, right? So if it's a bunch of multifamily owners that you have, a bunch of investors, you can go and find the broker who is selling all of the multifamily in your area. There's probably only a couple, right? There's very few commercial brokers compared to residential. Find the broker you need, go and call the junior agents, right? So identify the top brokers. There's going to be 2 or 3 agents on every listing. Don't call the main broker. The main broker is the one who's at meetings, getting more listings, does not have time for people they don't know often. Oftentimes, it's the junior agents who are fielding most of the calls, and those are the ones who will partner with you on referrals, right? So call the junior agents, tell them what you have. Hey, look, I've got a lot of multifamily owners and people who need multifamily. Do you work with agents on referrals? And they'll say yes, but I only want A and B and C. Okay, cool. So make that list, make that agreement, get an agreement in place with the broker, and then you can start referring stuff out. Okay. And we'll do what's called the 10-4-3 rule. You can adjust this however you want. 10-4-3 is a very simple way of remembering. I want to do, in my case as a commercial broker, I want to have 10 conversations with decision makers per day, 4 days out of the week, and 3 weeks out of the entire month. Right. So I'm taking a week off, and then every week I have a floating day where perhaps I don't get to these calls, right? Let's see here. Sorry about that. Okay, 10-4-3, 10 days. Yeah, so 10 contacts with decision makers. Now that means I might not be making 10 calls. I might be making 20 calls, 20 dials. That means I've talked to 10 people. I've had 4 days of that, and I've done that 3 weeks out of the month. If you do that, you're going to make a ton of money, whether it's in residential or commercial. Okay, as a commercial, we kind of need to do that. Okay. Now, on top of that, you're going to start to have commercial real estate conversations in your day to day. You're going to start to pay attention to commercial needs. You're going to start to, the thing that I like to use is yellow Jeeps. You're going to start to look for the yellow Jeeps. If someone came to you and said, hey, have you noticed all the yellow Jeeps around? And you said, no. And then you go out and you start seeing yellow Jeeps everywhere. It's because you're starting to just pay attention to that. So you don't have to do anything else other than in the back of your head, think of commercial real estate. Is that a commercial real estate need? Okay. Because you will have had a commercial broker in your back pocket that you can refer them out to if needed. Okay. Now, there's an ebook that I wrote on the golden handoff and a bunch of other stuff. If you have an interest in this, I would highly recommend you take our class. It's got trackers, it's got checklists, it's got all the stuff we just talked about, and it's got a walkthrough on how to do the golden handoff effectively and with the least amount of time of the most profitability. If you go to this website here and use the code Alliance, it should drop it to like $1. It's not going to cost you any money if you put the code in. So I would recommend doing that if I were you. But real quick on the golden handoff. So you've got a client that's raised their hand. They say yes. Okay, that's it. They say yes. I would like some help with commercial A, B, and C. You say great. When are you available? You're gonna find a time. You're gonna do the call. Probably just a 3-way call between you and the broker and the client. You're gonna talk the broker up. You're going to tell the broker exactly what you want from the client. Now you can see here in our list, here's the client vetting sheet, right? So you're going to be vetting the client out. That's going to maximize what you're doing. You're going to vet the client out and find out exactly what they need so that you've got an efficient list to hand off to the broker. Do the handoff on a call. They will probably do most of the talking, right? Vetting out the client a little bit further. If it's a fit, they'll move them toward listing, and in your hands, you're done. Okay. At that point, all you have to do is track, and tracking is the most important piece, but it's the least time intensive piece, right? So I had that list of people who've closed some transactions with us. The Vineyard example, where he made in excess of 6 figures, that took me and my team over 6 months to complete, right? So if him and I had forgotten about that referral or just had left it by the wayside, he might not have gotten paid. In fact, he did just kind of forget about it. He just left it to be. And we came back to him and said, all right, how do you want to get paid? But as you're doing these handoffs from people in your sphere that know and like and trust you to commercial brokers, you want to make sure that you're actually tracking them, and you're not bugging them, but perhaps every month or so, you're probably checking in just to keep an eye on things. And we've got a tracker there as well. So if you do have an interest in this, I would recommend just doing that um, class here because it's got all the tools included that I use. If not, you can always do it on your own, but just make sure you track it, make sure you make that list, and make sure you get a broker agreement in place with a commercial broker. That would be the ideal. So there we go there. That would be us. If you need to reach me, there's my number, there's my email. Shoot me a text or email or what have you, and jump on a call. Happy to do so. If you want to get this training, go to the quickstart.com. Make sure you do code Alliance unless you want to pay me more money. I'm happy to take it. But if you're seeing this, that means you're within our sphere already. So we're happy to hand that off pretty much for free. Anyway, any questions? I don't see any other comments or questions. I do not. All right. So I'm gonna have some coffee here. Let's leave us on this page. There we go. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. All right, guys, not seeing any other questions. If you have any topics you want to cover next week, let me know. Cover this, different topics each week. We were talking about referrals a couple weeks ago, so I thought I'd include this. If you're not already a member of our group, if you want to learn commercial real estate, I'll look at all that stuff on the screen. If you want to learn commercial real estate, go ahead and join us at the academy there. Over 50 hours of training, commercial real estate, whatever you need. It's there. If you wanted to get the training that I just went over, go to thequickstart.com or join the academy, either or, because the academy has the training on the golden handoff and all that stuff as well. If you have any questions or if you want to cover a certain topic next week, let us know and we'll do so. And yeah, I will see you next week.